Hey, welcome back. In this tutorial, we are going to start making our health pickup. What we're going to do is we're going to break it down into 3 tutorials. The first one is going to be making the model. The second one will be creating the material. And then the third one rather, will be for creating the health pickup blueprint. So we're going to put it all together in that final third tutorial. We're going to take advantage of the modeling tools that are available in Unreal Engine to get a little bit more detail than we might normally. And what I mean by that is we're going to make our own static mesh using the modeling tools in Unreal Engine. A lot of times in game design and game development, the programmers are working in conjunction as the animators and modelers are working. So sometimes the model that you need for your game isn't done yet or is not available. So you have to use a stand-in. Yeah, we could just use a simple cube or sphere or something like that, but this seems like a great opportunity to take a look at some of the modeling tools that are available in Unreal Engine and to get that set up, and also to use it to set up our material. So we're going to do both of those. So let me show you what I'm talking about. Okay, so right here, this is the demo level. This is the health pickup that I created using the modeling tools inside of Unreal Engine. It's just a simple little health cross that has a emissive translucent green material that we're going to create. And this is the model that I created here in the game. And then this is the blueprint where it was applied. This is the basic material that we're going to create, which is a glass material that we've also added in the emissive capability, so emissive color, that we can modify. We turn it into a material instance, and then in the material instance is where we can go in and we can adjust the color and the glow factor for that material, and then apply it in the blueprint. All right, so let's go ahead and jump right in. This, of course, is our world that we've been working on. And what we're going to do is, right now we're in the selection mode, right up here. We need to put it in the modeling mode. So if we hit the down arrow, we see we have several choices of some different things that we're normally in. Normally we're in selection mode when we're building the world, but we can do landscape, foliage, all those type of things. We're going to select this one right here, modeling. And this gives us the modeling tools that we're going to use. Now the first thing we need to do is we need to create a basic shape that we're going to create. This is going to be our box. Now mine's going to come in a little funny because I used it to modify a little bit. But I'm going to go ahead and set it back so that you can see what it's supposed to look like. This is the default. It's a box, 100 by 100 by 100. We zoom in a little bit closer on it. We see that we have all of these different squares. So there's 10 little squares across the front, across the side, and along the top. We can use these to help measure, but we can also use these to see if the surface area is distorted in any way. And we'll get into that in a minute. Now, we're going to make a couple of modifications, and then we're going to save this, and I'll show you how to do that. For the modifications, we're going to want to change the depth and the height. And when I say that, my red arrow is facing forward. So if you look down here, my X arrow is facing towards me. So when I say depth, it should be this depth, this direction, in the X direction. So I'm going to change this to 40 and cut it down to 4 wide. And then I also want to change the height to 4, so 40, so it's 4 high. The reason why we're doing this is because we're also going to extrude one end, so we end up with a total of 12 of these little squares across the front. Now we could just take it as it is, and then we could stretch it. But if we do that, what's going to happen is it'll distort the cube, and I'll show you that right now. So before we do that, though, let's go ahead and I'm going to change this back. So the way we're going to save it is if we hit the accept button, it'll save it. But what it's going to do is it's going to put it in by default to this AutoGen folder in the world. What we want to do is we actually want it to go into a folder that we want to create. It doesn't hurt if it goes into this folder, and it does put it in your content folder somewhere. There'll be an additional auto-generated folder that it will create for you, and it'll put it in there. And that's okay if that happens, but let's go ahead and just get it set up for ourselves. So if I go into the content drawer, right click, I'm going to select new folder and type in mesh. And all of the meshes we're going to either download or create are going to go into this folder. So I'm going to double click that folder and open it up. Now, if I go down here to where it says auto gen folder and hit the arrow and select current folder, whatever folder I have open, and that's key, whatever folder you have open, it's going to put this into it. So if you have a different folder open, it's going to put this model into that folder once we change it to current folder. Okay, now we've done this. If I hit the accept button, it's going to create a generic name for this. It's going to call this a box, and then the box will have some numbers and letters after it. We're going to change that once we're done. Okay, so now we have this box, and if I were to just scale it bigger so that I kind of get the dimensions I want, it's going to mess things up. And why? By that I mean if I grab it and I scale it, you see how it's distorting these cubes right here? They were cubes and now they're rectangles. That also distorts any texture that we would put over the surface of this. So say you had a texture that was, well, square boxes, like the one that we see here. Those would be distorted. So if we were using a brick material on this, the brick material would then be stretched and it wouldn't look correct anymore. So we got to be careful when we do those type of things. So if I hit Control Z, put it back to the squares, this tells us that it is not distorted. It is the exact way that we want it to be. And I'll get more into that later when we get into some static meshes that we're going to create for our game that will depend on the textures. This one's not going to depend so much on textures. It doesn't matter so much because it is just going to be a material that is translucent. Okay, so now the way we're going to add in the additional 2 little squares that we need is we're going to need to select this face. Over here, if we go to select, and we select Poly Group Edit right here, we can select this face. So I'm going to select one of the faces, the skinny side face, and over here I'm going to select Push Pull. And when I do that, it kind of jumps this thing out to a kind of a max amount. And then I can move it back and forth. You can see I can make it shorter, I can make it bigger. So this is the way that you can more easily modify whatever it is you're working on to get it kind of in this correct scale. Now, right here is where we're at. I'm going to add in 2 of those squares, and I'm just eyeballing it. It does not have to be perfect, but get it close. And that's going to be good right there. I've got 2 additional ones, so now I have a total of 12, right? Okay, I'm going to go ahead and accept it because I need to accept it to move on to the next phase. So I'm going to hit accept, and if we take a look here in the picture, you can see now it's a little longer. I'm going to select it again. I'm going to go over here to select, and I'm going to select edge loops, or insert loops rather. So select, insert loops. We do that, our box comes back, all the little red lines on it. And if I kind of angle it like this so I can see this edge, I get this green square around it. This is where we're going to draw those edge loops. I want to go 4 lines over. So 1, 2, 3, 4 lines over from that direction. So I have this square. And again, it does not have to be perfect, just close. And then 1, 2, 3, 4 this way. Okay. What I've done is I've got one that's 4, another one that's 4, and then these 2 together are 4. So now I've got 3 sections of 4 if I didn't count this one right here. I'm going to hit accept. And the next thing I want to do is I'm going to want to extrude this face that we created up here on the top. And we're actually going to do push-pull again, just like we did for these 2 over here. So if we hit select, Poly Group Edit, I'm going to select this face here that's kind of in the middle, this middle section of 4. And I'm going to do push-pull again. And I want to make this 4 high. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And again, it doesn't have to be perfect, just close. And that's going to give me a square that's now a square the same size as these 2 squares. If these 2 were connected, they'd be a square as well. And the last thing we're going to do is we're going to go down and look under the bottom, select the bottom one, and do push-pull again, and do the same thing. We're going to want it to be 4. It doesn't have to be perfect, just close. Okay? And I'm going to accept it. Now I have my little health cross created. It's 4 wide, and each one of these is 4. So these are little squares on the ends, kind of like a Minecraft looking thing, but it'll work for what we're going to do. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and save it. I'm going to go down here to my content drawer. I'm going to select it, and you can hit F2 on your keyboard, and that'll allow you to rename it. So I'm going to rename it SM for static mesh _ and I'm going to call this health cross. I'm going to underscore and just type in temp because this will remind me that later on I may want to replace this model. Now, you don't have to. We've gone to the effort of making this look kind of like what we want it to be. So if you want to keep it, you certainly can. But once we go through the game design section where we're going to start putting together the concept of what our game is supposed to look like, this may not work for you. You may want something different, and you may want to find that model. So we're going to just use this as kind of a stand-in for right now, and I'll show you how to change all these out at a future date. Okay, so that's it for this tutorial. We have now got a model that we can use for our health pickup. In the next tutorial, we're going to go in and we're going to make the material so that it will be transparent and sort of a translucent material that will also have an emissive factor so it will glow. I'll show you how to change the different colors. I'm going to make mine green. You can make yours whatever color you want. And we'll get into that next time. Again, if you ran into any issues or having any problems or questions, don't forget to put those in the comments. Hit me up on them. I'll take a look at them and I'll get back to you. Also, if you like this video, please don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe. That'll help me out, make it so I can keep working on doing what I'm doing. And it'll also help you out so that you can keep up with what we're working on and you can get the next tutorial when it comes out. Again, thanks for watching, thanks for playing, and I'll see you next time.